about a shirtless man.
I appreciate you guys tuning in this month, and we've got an exciting show planned. The T-Bird is done and it's ready to go. I'm going to explain that to you guys. That is the first project we've ever done that's going to be restored by a whole nother shop. I'll explain that a little bit later. The bike for Warriors for Hero is done. It's right here. We're going to talk about it a little bit. The car show,
Wheels for Warriors.
Wheels for Warriors. I've hand-built some trophies. We'll take a look at those. The 65 Corvette is ready to go to auction. Hopefully Peach Auctions will be up here today. We'll take a look at that car with them, and we'll brief through the shop and see what's going on back there. But for now, let's talk about this bike. You know, so the Cafe Racer, when you team up with another artist like Chuck or Chaston, and you just give them free reign to do what they do best, you end up with the best product. And the cool thing is, that was my bike prior to doing this build, and I donated the bike itself to the charity. The build, all this good stuff, just, I tell you man, between Chuck, myself, and Chaston, I don't think there's anything we can't do. You know, the thing I really love, and you guys know, is stories behind the vehicle. Now, we've created this story for this one. I'm a firm believer that when people get involved and they put their hearts in something, that what the end result is just amazing. Now, to me, this bike is amazing. The work Screaming Vultures Customs did for us, the work Chaston did, to me is just second to none. Chuck owns his own shop, you guys know that. When it comes to motorcycles, it's second to none. Screaming Vultures Customs, Campbell's Customs, and Chaston brand, it's just a good mix. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this bike. What we did was we started with a Honda 450. Now, the bike we started with is really not all that desirable. This bike sat in the corner of my shop for well over a year, and I just didn't know what I was going to do with it. It was a great bike, but in the collector world, it just wasn't there. I got with Chuck and we started talking about building a cafe racer, and this is the first time I've ever had my hand involved in a cafe racer. Chuck's built a few, which I've painted for him, but this is the first time I've ever hands-on been involved in the build or the fabrication. Now, the tail section of a cafe racer, it kind of led us up to the sport bikes we have today. This tail section, I hand-built this out of a tire cover from a 36 Ford car. I also did the tank work, the metal work on the tank, using that same rib from a 36 Ford car. Now, when I told Chaston, and when it's my personal stuff, which this bike is, I just tell Chaston, do what you want. The same way with Chuck, do what you want. Now, when you give an artist the ability to just go and do what they want to do, that's when you get your best work. This bike shows that. Of course, I did all the paint work from the frame, the tank, the fenders. I went down and helped Chuck do the final assembly, but Chuck did the fabrication from the chassis, moving the controls, the handlebars, all that good stuff. Of course, him and his dad they make bikes run like you wouldn't believe. The custom-built exhaust, if my wife don't mind, we may fire this bad boy up here in the office. Peach Auction Sale's gonna auction the bike off at a collector car auction. Hopefully raise some really good money for those guys. I know what I think that bike is worth. I know that if I put a price tag on it, what I'd ask for it, and I think they could get that for us at auction. And it's just good stuff. This bike is going to Peach Auction Sales on May the 2nd, and they're going to auction this bike off, and all of the proceeds is going to Warriors for Heroes, and that is an offshoot from the Warrior Golf Camps of America, so that's who we built this bike for. and I'm just so proud of it.
It's gorgeous.
It's not an old man's bike. I rode it from the shop to the front office, and that's it. That's it for me. But all in all, I'm just tickled to death with that bike.
Our relationship with Heritage Bank and the people goes back some time. We have to have flexibility and support from our bank, and that's what we have.
The situation with Heritage is they are so uniquely different than all the other banks. They're probably the premier community bank there is anywhere in the country.
It doesn't matter what time of day you go into the bank, Heritage Bank, the people are just wonderful.
I opened a business account with Heritage Bank, and it's just been a great relationship. The bankers are just friendly, and it takes a partnership. And with that partnership, my business accounts have grown, and I hope they continue to grow with Heritage.
Thank you for calling High Priority Plumbing. This is Brittany. How can I help you?
Yeah. Do you guys have any ordained plumbers?
No, sir, but we have expert professional plumbers on staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Look, I have a plumbing emergency.
I understand, sir, and I will be glad to assist you with getting someone out to your home.
How soon can they get here?
I'm glad you called us for that got out of hand.
Oh, wow. Are you sure everything's okay?
Oh, yes, sir. We took care of it. Thank you for calling High Priority Plumbing. Because at High Priority Plumbing, our customers are our priority.
You are my hero.
Hello, I'm Steve Nail, President of Nail Heating and Air Conditioning. Comfort and peace of mind. With Nail Heating and Air Conditioning, you get certified drug-free workers, a lifetime warranty on your installations, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. We can design the perfect indoor comfort environment for you. Clean air, humidity control, lower bills. You can't lose. Call today for your free in-home estimate. Simple, worry-free comfort from someone you trust. Nail Heating and Air Conditioning.
I'm Harry Douglas, wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, number 83, and you're watching SCB TV.
So the first T-Bird came out in 1955. The first run of T-Birds was 55, 56, and 57. They're called the Baby Birds. Now, last month you've seen the Baby Bird in the shop. Ready to paint. We had all the body work done. This month it's painted. It's all the pieces are sitting in here. We'll go back to the shop in just a minute and look at the body of the car. But let me tell you a little bit about this car. There are people in the car world that specialize in nothing but certain brands or makes. In North Georgia, there's a guy that only builds first generation T-Birds. His shop is dedicated only to restoring first generation T-Birds. Now, the owner of the car contracted with us to do the paint work. So the Baby Bird, we actually just did the body work and paint that car. Black, vivid black. It's just as black can get. And that's the hardest color there is to paint. It reflects every color. You know, black is the absence of all color. So when you walk by a black paint job, it reflects true colors. I showed you all that in past episodes. I held up a Coke can or something in a black finish of the car. Black is just, to me, perfection. Everything should be black, every car. That's why the Beast is black. My motorcycle, it's black. It's just the way it is. It's kind of an odd thing, but he loved our paintwork so much, and he loved that guy's restoration skills that he's got the best of two worlds. He's got a T-Bird expert building the car, and he's got us, of course, painting the car. So these are all the pieces to the T-Bird. They should be picked up in the next few days. But that car is headed off to a restoration shop. Now the owner of that car, he may have bothered them a little bit not wanting them to paint his car, but he chose us to do the paint work. And he chose them to restore it. And it was a collaboration. And there were some meetings between me and that other shop of how things were going to go. And I think it's going to work good. And we'll wrap them up carefully, ship them up to the other guy's shop up in North Georgia, and he'll assemble this car. And in a few minutes, we'll go back to the shop and take a look at the body of the car. In about 6 months, hopefully you'll see that car back here totally assembled for us to put the final polish on that car. All in all, it's a neat looking car. Of course, black being a tough color in paint, man, that looks like a black mirror. But it's pretty cool stuff. To be able to be involved and to co-op with another shop to get a project done. So that's the baby bird. You know, I don't know if I got a little creative artistically. What I did was this. I got in my toolbox, got every broken tool I could find. I robbed the parts off of my personal parts stash to build those trophies with. The rage nowadays is that when it comes to car shows is you can go out and buy trophies, but what people are really getting into is building trophies. They have got
handcrafted.
And absolutely.
Yeah.
And they've asked me to build trophies for the car show.
Wheels and Warriors Car and Bike Show, May 18th at the Coweta Veterans Club in Noonan. And it's hosted by Bomber Girls LRC of Sonoya. And she's teamed up with the Fayette Coweta Rotary Club and the American Legion there. And it's going to be a good show.
It'll be a good show. And
Very
all the
good
proceeds
show.
go to the veterans.
Veterans and the community outreach program.
And it was good stress relief for me to build some trophies.
It is.
They're kind of goofy looking, but
it's all original. One of a kind.
You can go to a store and buy a trophy with a car on the top, or you can have a craftsman or an artist make a trophy. And I think it means so much more to the guys that win those trophies. You know, I didn't keep track of time, but I've got a couple of days in fabricating those trophies. Painting them, making them look the way I wanted to look, to represent different cars. You know, the one with the spray gun is for best paint, there's the best Ford, the best Chevy. And then there's one that looks really ratty, that's for a rat rod. Yep. So if you can't have a Campbell's Customs car or bike, you can have a trophy.
You can have a trophy.
Now, some of those parts, nobody will ever know this. Like the fuel line that's on one of those trophies, that came off the Corvette. The spark plugs are out of the Beast. There's a fuel pressure regulator that is out of off the Beast. It was from drag racing years ago. It's broken, but it's cool looking piece on that little part. The skull head that's on the other one, a good friend of mine, when he started learning how to pinstripe, painted that skull. So it is what it is. It's just neat stuff.
So that's going to be good.
Of Henry showcases over 25 local restaurants and food vendors with dishes that are sure to satisfy everyone's palate. The taste-size portions let you sample a variety of different flavors and restaurants, from delicious main courses to appetizers and desserts. If it's great food, you're sure to find it at Taste of Henry.
Well, that about does it, Miss Tanner. I got your gas heat service all hooked up and she's ready to go.
Good. They say it's going to get cold tonight.
Now, all you have to do to turn it on is push this button right here.
Is that gas I smell?
Would you let your yard man install your heating and air conditioning? If so, we're not for you. So give us a call today at Mike Vining Heating and Air Conditioning and let us install a comfort system that will save you money. My dad opened this company in 1979, so we truly are a family-owned and operated business. We installed major brands such as Rheem, Goodman, Amana, and American Standard. We also service any brand out there. Our skilled technicians and competitive prices will ease your mind and save you money. We look forward to the opportunity to be of service to you and your family.
I knew I should have called Mike Vining.
What the f?
Oh my gosh.
What's happening?
Oh my God. Well, hey, how are you?
How you doing?
That is a hoot.
Look at here. Oh, you trimmed.
You guys are sick.
Yours was this long when I saw you last week.
That is amazing.
Oh, you guys are messed up.
We enjoy it.
You ain't even right.
Well, it's quality entertainment.
Too much boss man up in here.
65 Corvette came to us as a true survivor. One owner only car with 32,000 miles. The lady came to us and it had been in heated and cooled storage for over 20 years. She came to us and asked me to put that car back on the road to get it as close as I could to the day it was new. She bought the car new. She wants to go for a ride in it as if it was a brand new car. I think we nailed it. I think the car looks like a brand new car again. It's only got 32,000 miles. David, if you want to tell us a little bit about what the intent behind this car was and what we're trying to achieve with it.
Well, everything was trying to keep everything 100% original and keep it as factory as possible without, so we took extra time and did everything, kept everything original and redid everything, you know, just on the outside right here.
It's a beautiful car, you know it?
Yes, sir, it is.
You gonna take it out for a drive in a little while?
I'd love to. Everything on the inside is 100% factory, never been touched. It's beautiful.
The emblems, you took the time to take those off, and
yes,
you de-trimmed it. We got it painted and took the time to slowly and methodically put it back together. And
right, and hand washed every piece before it went back on. Didn't use a bunch of chemicals, mainly just a little bit of soap and water. Buffed up the bumpers a little bit there, shined up the chrome, and just to keep it, you know, as factory as possible. And
you know we're taking this car to auction.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I'd like to keep it here. She's coming down next Tuesday. I'm going to take her for a ride in that car, and then we're sending it off to auction. We're going to let it go to the highest bidder. It's going to Peach Auction Sales. Those guys are good. They know cars. They have guided me through this car. You've seen them here a lot talking about that car. It's a very important car and a very valuable car. Just so you know, what I tried to do is I tried to achieve OEM look to the car. If the car's not been buffed, it's not been wet sanded, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
This is as close to factory as I could make it look.
It's factory original color. I mean, that shade of white.
Yeah, it's the right color.
White.
Ermine white.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very thankful that she chose our shop to take care of it. And if you guys know me, you know this, that we're just caregivers to the car. The next guy that owns the car, he's the same way. He's just the next caregiver, just like Miss Flack was a caregiver since '65. So she's doing the right thing with that car, man. I cannot wait to see it hit the auction block. Got the Warrior Golf Camp's bike done too, the Warriors for Heroes.
I want to see that.
Yep, I got it done and it's ready to go. So what do you think?
It was born as a Honda what?
It's a CM 450. But everything is it's all total custom now. It does retain its original suspension, which the cafe bikes would have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot quicker than the stock bike. Chuck and them have built a custom exhaust. Dan's gone through the carburetors. It'll scat. I hand built the tonneau cover and done some tank work, and of course all the paint work on it is totally custom. That's actually British Racing Red. You guys remember the Triumph I restored?
Mm-hmm.
That's the color. And that upholstery is Triumph TR6 upholstery color. I made that out of a 36 Ford tire cover. So that's all hand built. That's all metal. There's hardly any Bondo in that bike.
Well, I mean, I've seen other bikes that have that line to them on the back, and it's a neat looking piece.
And actually there's a top secret plaque. It's underneath the seat. It's engraved and it tells who built the bike and what it was built for. So the idea behind the plaque is this. One of the board members on Warriors for Hero, owns an engraving machine and some amazing CNC machines. He came up with the idea to engrave a plaque to memorialize that bike so it's there forever. Who built the bike and what it was for. We're thinking about building another bike for the golf camp for auction, and we'll do the same thing. So years down the road, somebody takes the bike apart, they'll realize they bought a charity bike.
That's great. Well, we definitely want to get photographs of it, a little story behind it, get it up on the internet.
I can get this bike to you. I'm taking it to a big show this weekend, and then after that I can take it to you and it can sit down there as well.
That'd be great.
So just a brief overview of the shop. You know, each month things fly through the shop. The 55 Bel Air is ready to paint. We've got a whole different Corvette in the shop. The little convertible from last month is gone, and we've actually started another one. This convertible belongs to Georgia State Trooper. His wife found that car in a junkyard and fell in love with it. And we're just basically, it's not a restoration, we're just basically sprucing it up, fresh paint, doing some good stuff so she can go enjoy that car on the weekends. We've got a modern Jeep project going on. The first gen T-Bird is painted. It's sitting in there painted, ready to go home. And we're doing a little touch up on a car we did probably 2 years ago. You know, if you take your cars out of the shop, you drive them and enjoy them, you're gonna have some problems. In this case, he had a few scratches, a few nicks, and brings it back to the place that built the car to do a little touch-up. But all in all, we're real busy here at the shop. Omar and Joe's in there sweating. David's back here in the back again, taking care of some business, and all in all, it's just a good day. So each month I try to bring you some sort of trivia or some sort of just information that I think is kind of cool. Well, pre-65, brake systems were a lot different than they are today. Now what I mean by that is this. Pre-65, master cylinders on cars were single cylinders, one cylinder, one brake line feeding the whole system. What happens is this. If you have a problem with one of the 4 brakes on the car, you lose all the brakes. So back in the day, single cylinders, single master cylinders, they were actually dangerous. You have one brake leak, you lose all your brakes. Modern brakes are dual cylinders. So if you have a brake leak in the front, it's not that big a deal. You can feel a little sponginess, but it's covered with the second cylinder. So after 65 started to be standard equipment, double cylinders with brake lines, one feeding the front system, one feeding the back system. Splits off to the 4 wheels. Now, if you have a problem with one wheel on a modern double cylinder system, you don't lose the whole brake system. You just lose that wheel. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think it was the guy that put the Corvette to death, Ralph Nader, that made this happen. Which, this is a good thing. I know this, that usually when we upgrade hot rods, we put dual master cylinders on them. Now the 65 is a restoration, so it stays the way it was supposed to be. They're safe to drive, but you got to really pay close attention to your car and maintain them to have this old system. Maybe one day soon I'll show you an ultra-modern brake system. It's called Hydro Boost instead of power brakes. That's what we're putting on one of our cars in the back. Now that's a neat system altogether. So that's a little bit of trivia. Dual master cylinder versus single master cylinder. Pre-65, after 65. Now I know what you're thinking, this is a 63 Chevy truck. It's been upgraded, my friend. Pretty cool stuff, huh? So I had somebody ask me the other day, you know, about my tattoos, and normally I got on long sleeve shirts. I don't want to offend anybody, but you know what, it's a personality thing. So I was asked, you've got Popeye tattooed on your arm. Why do you have Popeye? Well, the truth of the matter is Popeye always said, I am's what I am's. And guess what? Popeye was the first cartoon to have a tattoo. So I actually have a tattoo of a tattoo. And I am's what I am's. What can I say?